Hi everyone, welcome. I am Marlene Marino, one of the instructors here at UMA. In our course, we're learning about multiple insurances, their history, how they were made up, the features and benefits. But before we can send out this bill or claim, we need to understand the information this form needs to have, and also where is this information entered in the form. And that is what we are reviewing in this presentation today. So follow me, please. The CMS 1500 form is submitted when a paper claim is allowed. Also, we can submit this claim electronically. So we can have it on paper, or we would have it within our system in our offices. Okay, so the data entry for the CMS 1500 claim form includes information about optical scanning guidelines, entering patient and policyholder names, entering provider names, mailing addresses and telephone numbers, recovery of funds from responsible payers, MPI or National Provider Identifier numbers, assignment of benefits versus accept assignment, reporting of diagnosis like our ICD-10 codes, and reporting of procedures and services, which are the HCPCS Level 2 codes and CPT codes, which if you have not yet taken your coding courses, that's fine. You'll learn them in other classes, but at least you know where do they go in the claim. If you have already taken your coding courses, well, then now you get to see where they go on the claim also. Some of the information that you'll see will be the EIN number or the National Standard Employer, and also reporting the billing identity. So right here on your screen, you're seeing a claim form, and I know you probably are not able to read every one of the boxes or form locators, which is what they're called. So let's break it apart into chunks. Okay, so let's do that. But before we can do that, let's talk about the CMS 1500, the different form locators. So each number, actually, let me go back one slide. So each number, field, or item on the claim, it's called a form locator. So every one of these boxes that you see, and I don't know if you're able to see my mouse pointer, the upper portion, so this particular claim form has two portions. We have the top and we have the bottom. So the top form contains patient and insured information. So you have form locators that are number 1 through 13 that you see there on the top, and then there are 11 data elements with 2 signature fields that are almost right here in the middle of the page. And you can see on the side, in the little arrows where it says carrier, patient and insured information, and then physician or supplier information. So then the lower portion is that physician or supplier information, and this consists of 20 form locators, which are numbered 14 through 33, and 11 with 11 data elements and 1 signature field only. So that's kind of like what this particular slide was telling you, but I wanted you to make sure that you saw the entire form to see, okay, this is the top portion, this is the lower portion. So let's take a look at the top portion, right? So this is the top portion of our form right here. Form locators 1, starting up here with Medicare, and then through 13. So what information goes on each and every one of these boxes? Well, let's talk about them. So in form locator number 1, this is where you're going to select the type of insurance. So you have Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, CHAMP VA, Group Health Plan, or other. In 1A, you're going to enter the insured's ID number. In form locator number 2, you're going to enter the patient's name. So last name, first name, middle initial. Form locator number 3, you would enter the patient's date of birth and also their sex. Form locator number 4, insured's name. Form locator number 5, the patient's address. Form locator number 6, patient relationship to the insured. So in number 6, you have self, spouse, child, or other. Form locator number 7, the insured's address. Number 8, you would enter the patient status, the status for your patient. Number 9, or form locator number 9. And as you can see, some of these are going to be a little bit higher than others. So you have to go, okay, where is, like, here is 5, we have 6, we have 7, where is 8? And then you have to look for 8, you have to look for 9, and so on and so forth. So they are not just like all to the right and all to the left and so on and so forth. Okay. Form locator number 9, you have several for 9, which are here to the left-hand side. And for 9, you have other insured's name. But then you have a 9A, you're going to enter other insured's policy or group number. 9B, other insured's date of birth or sex. 9C, employer's name or school name for the insured. 9D, the insurance plan name or program name. So that's 9A through D. And let's take a look at 10, which is right here in the middle, A through D. So this is what is the A through C is what is the condition, the patient's condition related to, like, is it related to employment? And this is really important if you're dealing with what? With workers' compensation cases. B is auto accident, yes or no, because why? You might be dealing with automobile policies as well. And then C is for other accident, and you have also yes and no, okay? For 10D, this is reserved for local use. Then form locator 11, this is the insured policyholder or FICA number. 11A is the insured's date of birth or sex. 11B, form locator 11B, employer's name or school name for insured. 11C, insurance plan name or program name. This is for the primary plan, okay? 11D is asking, is there another plan benefit? Yes or no? And then it says, if yes, you're going to do what? You're going to complete items 9A and 9D. So this is what the other insured information comes into play for secondary insurance policies. Then our boxes down here, 12 and 13, these are our 2 signature fields. So once again, we have 11 data fields and 2 signature on the top, or patient and insured information section. So in 12, this is patient or authorized person signature. Usually we have what? Signature on file. 13, insurers or authorized person signature, which once again, you will have this as signature on file. So everything that I just told you that is needed on each and every one of these boxes, I do have for you in the next slide. So as you're viewing this presentation, you're able to pause if you need to record this information, or if you, want to take a screenshot and save that, you can do that also. I wanted to make sure not only that I was showing you the form, but also, as I was telling you what each form locator needed, I want to make sure to give you the information, well, of course, that I told you about those boxes. So once again, we just finished the top portion, but what about the bottom portion, right? Bottom portion is also important. So let's take a look at the bottom portion. So here is the bottom portion of the form. Again, I know that at the beginning it was really small, and that's why I wanted to blow it up a little bit for you guys so you can see the whole thing. Perfect. So this is, once again, the physician or supplier information. So for 14, which is up here, date of the current illness, injury, or pregnancy. 15, if patient has had the same similar symptoms or illness, you're going to enter the first date of treatment for same similar illness. For 16, or form locator 16, the dates that the patient was unable to work in current occupation. So here you have your from and your to dates. 17, This is for the name of referring physician or other source. So you're going to enter the physician first name and last name and credentials, but leave blank if no referring physician was, if the patient was not referred. For 17, we have 17A also, which is the ID number of the referring physician. So here, if this applies, you're going to enter the ID number and a 2-character qualifier. For 17B, this is where you would enter the MPI number of that referring physician if applicable. For 18, over here on the side, this is hospitalization dates that are related to current services. So once again, you have from and to. So from 18 that we go to 19, this is reserved for local use. So this is for use with specific carrier guidelines. They might have, hey guys, for box 19, this is what I need. So you have to make sure to have that information in there. For form locator 20, for form locator 20, this is outside lab. So you're going to check the correct box, yes or no. If it's yes, then you have a little space here to enter the charges amount. For form locator 21, this is where now our coding comes in. So for 21, you're going to enter the diagnosis or the nature of illness or injury. As you can see, you have A through L. So you're going to list your codes A, B, C, your diagnosis codes in order. You have to indicate that you're entering ICD-10 up here. Then for form locator 22, you have Medicaid resubmission code. So this is for use when you do have this for use with Medicaid claims if you are resubmitting and you have the code. So you would put the resubmission code once again for Medicaid, if applicable, you would enter the code in that box. Form locator 23, this is prior authorization number. This is used when it's also required by the carrier. So again, you're not going to have the pre-authorization number for every service because every service and every payer will not require for pre-authorization. But if it is required, you need to have it, and that needs to be listed in form locator 23 of our claim form. Okay. Now 24 is this big section that we have here, that we have the numbers on the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, N, J. I know, a lot of different things happening here in form locator 24. So here's where you're going to enter your services. So above it, where we have 21, this is our diagnosis. So now here is the service. So what did we do to help the patient feel better? What did our doctor do? So in 24A, you're going to enter your date of service. 24A, you have from and to dates. 24B, we need to enter the place of service. So we're going to enter the code for our location. Is it office, outpatient? Is it inpatient hospital, outpatient hospital, and FQHC? Where are these services happening? 24C says EMG, that stands for emergency. So you're going to enter yes or Y for yes if emergency service, or leave blank for no. Okay. In 24D, D, this is for procedure, services, or supply. So this is where we're going to enter the CPT codes or HCPCS codes, as well as any modifiers that are needed. So once again, if you've taken your coding courses, you now go, oh, this is where they go. And if you haven't taken your coding courses, when you get to your coding courses, you're going to be like, oh, I remember we talked about codes before. They go on the claim. I know exactly where they go. So perfect. So here you enter your procedures, right? And then you also would enter any modifiers if applicable, okay? 24E says diagnosis pointer. So for diagnosis pointer, what we're doing here is we're matching. We're playing a matching game between 21 and 24. What we are essentially saying is for this procedure that I listed here, they relate or correlate to, let's say, diagnosis E and K, for example. So you would put E and K over here in 24E. So you're matching the procedures to the diagnosis. The reason why we did this procedure is because of this diagnosis or diagnoses. Okay? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So that was 24E. For 24F here, we're going to enter what? We're going to enter our charges. So the charges for each and every one of these services. See, for every one of the services, the days are our units, so how many units? Okay. For EPSDT for Medicaid, we also have a box here for 24H. 24I, this is our ID qualifier. So you're going to enter a qualifier for non-MPI number and this, if applicable. 24J, it would be for the rendering provider. So you're going to enter non-MPI numbers if that's what you have, or MPI numbers here. So that is the entire 24 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay. Then we move to the bottom down here where we have box 25 or form locator 25, and this is for the federal tax ID number. Form locator 26 is this patient's account number, so you're going to enter the account number that's assigned by your medical facility. 28, this is the accept assignment, so we're going to select or check the correct box, either yes or no. And then for 28, we have the total charge amount of all of our services. So everything that's listed above it, we're going to total it and put it right here. Okay. The entire amount. Then 29, form locator 29, if amount was paid by the primary insurance and you're submitting now to the secondary insurance, that the amount that was paid, you would enter it where? Right here in form locator 29. Then for 30, form locator 30, this will be your balance due. So the amount, the total charge from 28 minus the amount paid from form locator 29 will give you the balance that is due for that patient. So you would add it on here, okay? For 31 or form locator 31, this is signature of physician or supplier. This is including degrees and credentials. So signature and date may be used, or you can have the signature and file. So you have the signature and the information down here. Form locator 32, this is the name and address of the facility where the services were rendered. In 32A, we would enter the MPI number, and then in 32B, other ID number. So we would enter non-MPI number and qualifier. Form locator 33, this is our last form locator. This is where you would enter the billing provider information and phone number. In 33A, you would have the MPI number. In 33B, you will have other ID number for, once again, non-MPI number and qualifier. So guys, this is courtesy of CMS, or the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Service, that we're able to have, the pictures for the claims so that we're able to go through them, form locator by form locator. So once again, just how I did in the top portion, take a look at this. Wow, amazing. I know. It's also here for you. That way you're able to, once again, if you need to pause it, take a screenshot of this information of what you would have in those form locators for the bottom portion of the claim form. Okay, so really important information, because we need to make sure that when we're submitting claims, we have the appropriate information in there. So the objective of this video lecture focused around the claim form, okay, that we will use not only with this week's insurances and payers that we're looking at, but also other payers that maybe were reviewed last week, next week, and even through other courses. So after the claim has been completed, some of the things that we need to know, that now that we know the information that we need to enter in each and every one of our form locators, well, we need to make sure that we're checking for common errors. And some of the common errors that you will see could be keyboarding errors or incorrectly entering information like our procedure code, our diagnosis, our policy identification number, our date of service, maybe the federal tax ID number, the amount that is due, maybe even incomplete or incorrect name of the patient, because remember this, the patient or policyholder information has to match the policy, what's on the actual policy. So no nicknames. And if you have one name on the insurance card, one name in the driver's license, we're going to go by the insurance card. And also other errors could be omission of maybe the diagnosis, maybe we don't have our codes completed, maybe we missed a couple of numbers, our dates might be incorrect, our hospital dates, procedure dates, the name of the referring provider, our units of services. So there could be a lot of things that could go wrong. So once we complete everything, we need to make sure that we go back and review to make sure, do we have everything completed properly? The goal is to do what? The goal is to submit a clean claim. What does that mean? That means that this is a claim free of error. Free or error means clean claim, no errors. So guys, it is very important that we are constantly checking for payers and their claim submission guidelines so that we can make sure that we have proper coding and billing of the claims. And once again, that we are submitting them without errors. So the steps for checking final processing of the CMS claim form, we have to make sure that we double check for any errors, or if we omitted any information, make sure that we add any necessary attachment. Post submission of the claim to the patient's account, save the claim in our system, in our practice management software, and submit it to the payer or clearinghouse. Again, we have to check the specific claims completion instruction and billing instruction for the payer. So as you reflect on this topic and prepare to do the rest of the work for this week, make sure to use everything that we discussed in this video lecture today, all the materials for the week in our course, the interactives, and also doing some research on your own. Make sure, and I say this in all my videos in case you've watched some of my other videos, we're using reliable sources to maximize our learning. So a reliable source, we have our UMA library. So make sure to check out the library if you have not done so yet, and let us know if you have any questions or if you need any help, okay? Let's have a great class. Have a great day.